How's everybody doing? That was not very enthusiastic. How's everybody doing? Thank you, and little energy, little energy. I'm Greg Sampson. I'm the CEO and founder of Courtside Video Entertainment, and we at Courtside have developed the best entertainment solution and opportunity for college and pro basketball teams and the ability to engage with their high-end fans. So at Courtside, we've developed a floor-embedded digital display asset that goes around the perimeter of NBA and college basketball courts. Life-sized, full-size interactive engagements that draw fans in and get them to take action. Now we put that around the perimeter of the court because that's where the money is, right? Now if you've ever been to a basketball game or watched one on TV, you'll notice that there are floor decals around the perimeter. Now vinyl floor decals in an age of digital advertisement, that's pretty Stone Age, right? What advertisers want today is the ability to interact and engage with their fans. They want to draw them in, they want them to take action. You can see here an example of one of our engagements where we've got a QR code that you can schedule an at-home test drive. Now if you've seen our activation out on the floor, if you come out, take a seat yet, you'll see how exciting these are. You can't miss these engagements. And now some challenges that are facing the sports industry is teams need revenue growth, okay? The NBA is dealing with stagnant revenue opportunities. The WNBA is struggling with pay equity challenges. And then colleges are mired in NIL challenges. Sponsorship assets are stale, and their values are saturated. And they can't activate the high-end brands during the live game. So what Courtside can do is increase sponsorship inventory, raise the sponsor value proposition, and monetize the sidelines in a way that's just never before been possible. We enhance the fan experience, and all that leads to significant more revenue sponsorship generation. And what we've accomplished, we've been vetted by the NBA League office. Teams like the Cavs, Wizards, Pacers, and Heat, and the G League have all expressed strong interest in our products. We have a strategic partnership already with the Sixers, who agreed to a paid pilot, which means we know the revenue models and how everything works out. And we're also partnering with all three major hardcourt flooring manufacturers. We've been validated in our technology, and we perform comparable to the portable floor systems that are already used in all major leagues. We raised $400,000 in a pre-seed round, and we launched just this past November. So a year ago, I came to SSAC in 2024, and it was just a slide deck. So in that time frame, we built out a full system we launched in conjunction with the Basketball Hall of Fame, and that led us to a paid pilot with Temple University that we just completed. Here's some photos from our activation at Mohegan Sun, where the Connecticut Sun play, and our activation with Temple University. A little bit about myself. I'm a former championship competitive swimmer and a computer engineer. I've got 30 years of industry experience working for the likes of IBM, Texas Instruments, and Adobe Laboratories. I helped build one of the world's fastest supercomputer systems, the first desktop LCD projector, so that guy in the background right there, something like that. And also a video streaming system for high-value Hollywood entertainment content that's never been hacked to this day. I'm joined here today by Dr. Kayla Flagg, who heads up our Player Health and Safety Advisory Board. And we've got a team of engineers, designers, marketers, and researchers to help bring this product to market. Now, Relometrics conducted an independent assessment of Courtside, and we placed 1, 2, and 3 amongst all the assets in the arena. But more importantly, they said that we were 42% more visible than any on-court asset because we can tweak and tailor that digital asset to match the conditions in the arena, the camera conditions and lighting conditions in the arena. And they evaluate our assets at more than $65 million per season per team. We are working with the likes of Connor Horner and Robin Sports Flooring to bring this product to market. Our goal next year is to sign 6 licensees as colleges and bring in $3 million in revenue. You can see on the screen, this is the area in which we would place the tiles around the perimeter of the court, that 800 square foot that's outside the playing surface. Now we leave the hard court in place because that's what players are most comfortable in playing on, so there's no concern about safety and health, right? Our competitor, they take the whole court surface, right? And they're already having some significant challenges in breaking through the NBA because the older veterans saying, well, I'm not risking my knees on this new technology. The money and the opportunities on the perimeter of the court, and that's where we focus on.
So we share Wells Fargo Arena, so sometimes it's got ice, not a hard court.
Right.
So how does your implementation work in those types of shared arenas? is it only gated to hard court, or could this work in an hockey arena as well?
So we're optimized for the portable floor systems, which is the vast majority of NBA arenas and a good majority of the top tier Division I programs. Right? And we're working with some universities that don't have portable floors, and so we can place a portable floor over top of that. That's part of our partnership agreements with some of the hard court manufacturers. So it allows us to go in essentially any arena.
And then is this more logo presentation, or is there some interactivity element that's a gamified experience that kind of captures that community in the arena? That's part one of the question. Then part two is, have you thought about it all, extensibility into the living room experience? So sort of like shared competitions, but a leaderboard in the arena.
Interesting. I'll do the second question first so I won't forget it. We are focused on the engagement in the arena because, again, these organizations are really struggling with how do they monetize the assets they have and how do they give a better brand presentation, right? To your first question, we incorporate several different types of engagements, right? So actually, this was the presentation I was going to show you, right? But what you'll find is that for the most part, when you go into arena, there's a stale, pre-programmed ad rotation, right? There's really not a lot of ability for a brand to interact and engage with the consumer. So we built in features such as eye gaze tracking, so we know exactly how long an ad's been seen and for how long, right? And we can tie that in with the ticketing data, so we know exactly who's seen that and for how long, and provide that information back to a team. Through that eye gaze mechanism, we have an AI-based gesture recognition engine, so we can turn that into gamification, again, creating engagements that draw fans in and get them more interested in that activation. We also have a great mode called Send a Selfie. So again, if you're sitting courtside, you want to be seen. Most people want to be seen, right? So an opportunity to send a selfie. We present a QR code, you snap that QR code, and then we take an activation that started in the arena with one person that reaches out to their entire social media following. So I'll give you a great example of how we can extend it even further. Being from Philly, Kevin Hart is one of our near and dear, and he's a big Sixers fan. So you can imagine Kevin Hart's new movie is coming out. We can do 2 different types of activations, and we've shared some of this with the Sixers already. So one activation is just Kevin talking about his new movie, a little shout out from the sidelines, and then we can tie that right directly in with the trailer to the movie, right? The next thing we can do is do a little virtual green screen. So now you're sitting courtside next to Kevin Hart. So this might be an opportunity to catch fans that are not sitting courtside, sitting in the 200 row seats, or maybe even sitting at home, and to do that kind of a phased integration. There's one more point I wanted to raise. I want to talk about our business model because that's a really unique aspect. There we go. Okay, I'm going to come back to some of the other slides because there's some really important stuff there. All right, but our business model is a white glove platform as a service. So what we do is we embed an operations team alongside the team's arena ops, and we do that for 2 reasons. One, it gives us an opportunity to participate in the revenue generation of the team. Every year they sign new sponsorship contracts, so we get paid alongside them. But we also alleviate all the operational headaches and concerns that come along with having a high-tech platform on the court side. When I shared that with Bob Stent, the VP of Operations for the Sixers, he audibly sighed in relief because the last thing they want is another game day headache. But in that model, it allows us to generate significantly more revenue. Our floors have a 3 to 4 year life cycle, so once we monetize that floor in the first year, we get the additional cash flow that goes along with it. I'm going to talk a little bit about where we're going in the future. Okay. So again, we're already partnered up with several universities. We've had extensive conversations with the league, and we know our path to market to the NBA and the WNBA. So as we continue to develop those channels, it'll provide the onboarding for our next future steps. But we actually plan to go further up the value chain and create what we call the arena operating system. So the bottom 2 layers and part of the 3rd layer we already have in place, but we see there's an opportunity to leverage our technology and embed further into the arena and provide additional value. So one example of that is to leverage the cameras that are in the arena. For example, looking out on the VIP parking lot and using our AI algorithms, be able to determine which vehicles are in the parking lot and determine who's got poor representation so we can provide data-driven analysis back to the sponsorship team. And we can say, Mercedes, you're underrepresented in the VIP parking lot. And that's exactly where your target consumers are going to see their next vehicle. Let's put together a campaign that's going to get you greater visibility. Or another one of my favorites, let's pretend for a minute the Sixers lose a game. And as you're leaving the arena and walking out into the concourse, you see, angry about a Sixers loss, have a Snickers. Right, again, actionable, data-informed campaigns are what sponsors really want, as opposed to these static pre-rolls. Okay. Of course, I've got to show the obligatory up and to the right, but these, again, are based on the data we receive back from teams for how much they are willing to pay for our service and what our service costs. We're raising $3 million on a seed round to help us reach our revenue-generating goals for this year. You can see some of our use of funds. We've already got several commitments on that journey, and I'm happy to take any questions you might have. And thank you for the AV team for the on-the-job smart responsiveness.
Do you have a path to on-court if those concerns and if you can solutionize those challenges that you referred to?
We're already on court.
Well, you alluded that it was courtside, right?
Oh, you said on the court itself.
On the court itself, yeah.
Oh, so actually, we don't want to be on the court, right? Again, as a former athlete, we have a certain level of superstition, right? I'll give you a perfect example. In working with Horner Flooring Systems, the NBA has long wanted a matte flooring solution, right? As opposed to the one that reflects a lot of light out of the lighting in the arena, right? So Steve Nash shot that idea down because it got different squeak from a matte floor versus a polished floor, right? So that's the reason why we don't have polished floor or matted floors in the arena. So what we decided to do is take that out of the equation, keep players on surfaces they're comfortable and familiar with, surfaces that trainers and players and coaches know well, right? And again, the money's on the perimeter, and that's where the opportunity really exists. No one is able to monetize the courtside, VIP courtside seat holder in a way that we can.
Thank you. I want to lead with, I deeply appreciate the challenges you noted in terms of needing to optimize every square foot of the space these programs have. Pulling back a bit, can you talk a little bit about the fan experience? And maybe I'm the boomer you don't want to optimize for and you want to optimize for my kids, but they're definitely not the ones paying. So the overstimulus, I already have ADHD. I feel like Warriors games, I'm on ADHD with steroids. I don't even know during timeouts if the players can even hear their coaches because there's like 5 dance competitions, there's a survey. What is your point of view in general of like, from my observation, and I am not deep in sponsorships and ads and you are, everyone's trying to kind of digitize more the current static way of doing things.
Right.
But how do you think about the future of fan engagement with these brands other than Snickers being in my face after a loss? Like
Right.
I just love maybe more philosophically where you want to see this in 10 years.
So if you join me on the journey, what I like to say is Greg will be on a beach in 3 years. But I know our partners, companies like ANC and Daktronics, they're looking for greater penetration in the arena. How can they further monetize the assets that are available or the assets they don't have access to? So when we think about what this technology is capable of, I certainly understand the perspective of overstimulation, right? Is it too much? And so because it's a digital asset, we can tailor that, right? So we can take feedback. So when we've done our launch events, one was on the player side and the other side was on the VIP side. No negative feedback out of any of those engagements, right? But if a team does get some feedback that is negative, they can always choose to change that ad mix, that sponsorship mix, dial it down, dial it up, make it more engaging, a little less interactive, depending upon what they want to do, right? But right now, they don't even have the opportunity to generate additional revenue from folks that are sitting courtside.
So, thank you, and thanks. Amazing. Through the technical challenges also, so you mentioned it's outside of the court, which for in-game, I understand the visibility and research that you had in the slide as is number 2 in total broadcast exposures.
Correct.
So I guess I do watch quite a few games on TV as well. That was interesting to me because typically it's close up to the game. on the floor. So is there any way you can provide more insights on how you think the broadcasters are gonna want to, take the sort of get the full court, and so that those impressions are going to be served, and will they want to take a share out of this?
I heard 3 different questions there, and I want to make sure I clarify on one. So you said take the full court. Do you mean, again, the hardwood court area?
I understand you are not going there,
Okay.
right? But when the game is broadcasted,
Now I think I
Yeah.
know where you're going,
Yeah.
right. So I think there's some really interesting opportunities for engagement with broadcasters, right? Again, this is an asset that's visible from TV, the arena-wide, and also the VIP courtside seat holders. So there's lots of opportunities there. We've actually heard a couple of cases where broadcasters are saying, wait a minute, sponsors are going directly to teams and bypassing revenue opportunities where they could get a TV commercial. So we think there's some synergies there. So we've had some early conversations with a broadcaster about how we can create some different levels of engagement that tie directly in with the broadcast. So I think there's definitely some synergies there. Any more questions? All right, thank you very much.